All right, man, we get the New York Jets at the New York Giants. Jets are the road team here.
We both picked the Patriots, yeah?
We both picked the Patriots. Was that not clear?
I don't remember us actually doing that, but
we both said that's a lot of points.
Now it's clear.
New England to cover the 9.5. Now it's Jets, Giants, and the Jets are favored by 3 against the Giants. When they're setting these lines, do they just throw home field advantage out the window?
For Jets, Giants?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So when they say Jets by 3, that's like a neutral site line.
I would assume so, yeah.
Right? So Jets by 3 against the Giants.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Of course, the Giants season ticket holders, they get their seats.
I mean, I'm guessing whose logo is on the middle of the field is not tremendously relevant for who's going to win the game.
But you're going to have more fans. You're still going to have more Giants fans there, presumably.
Are you? Because they get first dibs on the season tickets?
Season tickets, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Jets by 3 here against the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets' defense is nasty. So the Giants' offensive line is still a mess. Tyrod Taylor, I think, has been a better quarterback for the mess than Daniel Jones has been.
Sounds like Tyrod's going to play again?
I think so, yeah, for at least one more week.
Daniel Jones will practice again. He practiced Wednesday, but he hasn't been cleared for contact, and his workload not increasing.
No. It sounds like I think definitely they're going to get at least one more week out of Tyrod. And I think he is a better quarterback for the limitations that this offense currently has, which is a disastrous offensive line, a complete inability to push the ball down the field with Daniel Jones at the quarterback. Like, Tyrod can just handle that better than Jones at the moment, given his experience. So it's the right quarterback to have. I just still don't know that it's going to work with that Jets defensive line is mean, and the rest of the defense isn't too shabby either.
That's the matchup I'm looking at there, obviously. I mean, every single week, can the Giants' offensive line hold up? The Jets they'll rush the passer extremely well. And then on the other side, as always, have to mention Wink Martindale, going to be aggressive, going to blitz, and Zach Wilson needs to handle it. Look, Zach Wilson's played better, right? He's you have the Sunday night game against Kansas City, but he's slowly played better. He went from 3 weeks of looking like no chance, like last year, to playing better, graded in the 60s.
And more baby steps?
Some baby steps with Zach Wilson.
Some baby steps.
That's the story of NFL play.
Baby steps.
This year. And then keep an eye on Dexter Lawrence, the game wrecker. The Giants defense playing as well as they did last year and winning all those games, and how well Dexter Lawrence played at nose tackle made me, sometimes that happens. It makes you rethink everything. Like, do I need a game-wrecking nose tackle like a Dexter Lawrence, who is so tough to find?
Yeah, I was going to say, where are you getting
They're tough to find, but it made me really think, like, would you rather that than a game-wrecking 3 technique or whatever? That's how good Dexter Lawrence is. And then, early this year, it didn't always show up. But there are certain games, like the playoff game last year against Minnesota, like last week against Washington, there were certain games where when you collapse the pocket right in front of the quarterback, right over the center, with Connor McGovern trying to block him, like that can ruin, 8 to 10 plays a game. That is significant. That's what the Jets have to deal with this week with Dexter Lawrence.
I mean, it is probably worth taking a beat and pointing out that not just Dexter Lawrence is great. I mean, that's fairly self-evident. But what he's doing, given where they play him, is, it's not unprecedented, but it's very, very unusual. Like, every single elite pass rushing disruptive defensive tackle you can think of plays primarily as like a 3-tech, right? He plays over the guards and shoots gaps and gets into the backfield that way. Lawrence doesn't. Lawrence spends most of his time lined up as a nose tackle over the center, and those guys, generally speaking, do not disrupt the quarterback that much. And when you start thinking about, go back over the last 10, 15 years, how many of those players can you think of that were real pass rushing presences? There were a couple of years where Kenny Clark did that really well, and then he fell off as like a run defender, and they've kind of kicked him out to a 3-tech type of alignment anyway. Haloti Ngata, maybe.
Marcel Darius had a couple
for a
of
brief
years.
period, yeah. But there hasn't been a lot of those guys that have done it for any extended period of time. Even when you look at like a Vita Vea, who that's what he should be doing given the size and that's his profile. Number one, he doesn't. Half his time is spent lined up as like a regular 3-tech defensive tackle anyway. And number two, he doesn't do it nearly as consistently as Dexter Lawrence does. Like, Haloti Ngata might be the last guy where you go back to that and say, I mean, again, he moved around that line a lot as well, but they were running a very different type of defense. But he had that kind of consistent skill set to line up, head up, over, right in the middle, and still wreck shop as a pass rushing disruptive force. I just think it's worth pointing out, like, this is not just a guy playing extremely well and just another defensive tackle. This is somebody who does not have a comp currently in the NFL. Nobody is doing what he is doing from that kind of alignment.
Yeah, so we just wanted to give him his credit.
Yeah,
credit for Dexter Lawrence. So yeah, I think both pass rushes are going to be pretty significant in this game. You mentioned the other day Tyrod Taylor's ability to unlock a Jalen Hyatt and create some big plays. You know, it's going to be tough against these Jets corners, but
right.
It's what the Giants need to do. And you know, the Giants are 1-1 with Tyrod.
It's worth taking the shot. Like, the part of the problem with the Daniel Jones, Jalen Hyatt thing is he just wasn't taking a swing. You know, he wasn't threatening that as an option for a defense. So at which point, if you don't have to respect it, it doesn't factor in. It doesn't change anything that's happening. Tyrod is at least going to take a few shots. And, okay, maybe you can pick him off, right? Maybe you can punish him for those shots. But the fact that you have to respect that threat from Jalen Hyatt when Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback is relevant.
All right, man. Jets by 3 in this game.
I feel like the Jets are good for that.
I kind of do too. Giants have been far more competitive the last couple weeks. Still only scored 23 points each of the last 2 weeks. And the Jets, I didn't update it, but if you look at Josh, at one point, so I know this is true, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and at least one other quarterback, their worst grades of the season came against the Jets.
Yeah.
Hurts didn't have his worst grade of the season because he had some fluky bad plays in there, but he still ended up with 3 picks against this Jets defense. So I'm buying into this defense as well.
Tyrod Taylor has 3 more big-time throws than Daniel Jones does this season, despite, you know, almost half the dropbacks.
Now compare it to last season, and it's only a few.
He's the
short.
same. He's the same as last season, I think.
Jones had, 7? What does Tyrod have?
7.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Tyrod's, this is like 2015 Tyrod here.
And he's also, perhaps more importantly, only got 2 turnover-worthy plays so far this season, which is a tiny percentage, and he's under pressure a lot.
And Tyrod has not been great at sack avoidance throughout his career, but compared to Daniel Jones this year, he's been better.
Yeah, and still isn't, by the way. Like, when you watch him play, you're like, this is actually looking quite good, and then, that's a terrible sack to take. Like, what are you doing? So it's still a problem.
And again, all that's led to 23 points.
Yeah, it's like
over the last 2 weeks.
It's not like it's fixed everything, but it is just incrementally better in several different areas.